Hello, welcome to Over the Garden Fence. I'm Naomi. Last week we talked about fruit and veg, and this week we said we'd be in the flower garden, and we are. It is looking amazing out there. Everything is springing to life. A lot of flowers are starting to produce gorgeous blooms. Incredibly, nasturtiums are in flower at the moment. Now, these are normally annuals, but because it was such a mild winter, mine didn't die away. Normally, annuals, they grow, they flower, and go to seed all in 1 year. But these have carried on as if they were a perennial. You can get them in all different colours, yellows, oranges, and really deep velvety reds. But what's brilliant, as well as looking good, is that you can eat them. They have a lovely crunchy bite and a peppery, sharp taste. So really, really well worth growing. What else have we got? Oh, foxgloves are just about to do their thing. These are biennials, which means they grow the year before and then they flower in their second year. And once they've flowered, they spread seed and they go everywhere. Hollyhocks, now they are a perennial, but they're short-lived. And again, you start growing them 1 year and you plant them out the next and they'll flower. And they'll probably flower for another 2 or 3 years before giving up the ghost. But if you have those, they will self-seed everywhere and quite promiscuous as well. So you get some really lovely cross-pollinated varieties. What else have we got in the garden? Well, alliums, these lovely purple balls. Well, you get purple, whites, pinks. They're all popping up all over the gardens at the moment. And there's loads of different varieties to choose from. I love getting my alliums from Avon bulbs. Avon bulbs, I must say, are fantastic. They're really high quality. They're still sending stuff out. So you can buy bulbs which you plant in autumn, which would be your alliums, but you can get bulbs that you can plant now for summer flowering and bulbs that you can plant in summer for autumn flowering. So don't just plant in autumn, plant all year round for your bulbs. Honesty has been in flower for a few weeks already. Once it's done its flowering, which could be a pink flower or a white flower, it goes to seed and it gets better and better. They produce these lovely seed pod discs. If you're very careful, you can just take the outer coating off the disc. That reveals the seeds. So you can collect the seeds and spread them around. And that helps the plant to continue its life cycle, but in the spaces where you want it to be rather than flinging its seeds anywhere it wants. So that's a wonderful plant. We've talked about herbs being great edibles, but they're also very decorative as well. They flower beautifully and they're really great for attracting pollinators. Something like thyme, there's so many different varieties, lemon thyme, orange thyme. If you go to Herbal Haven, wonderful herb nursery online, they're fantastic sending out really high quality plants. You can have all sorts going in your garden. Something like purple sage will edge border really well. And again, salvias, which is the sage family, have wonderful flowers which are much loved by bees. So what's going on in my front garden at the moment? My tulips are just going over, but they're looking quite graceful in their decline. They're looking rather shabby, but rather frilly at the same time. And as soon as they're out, I'm going to pop in loads of lettuces. But around them, I want lots of flowers as well. So I've got lovely agapanthus in pots, which will look glorious. Also, I've got salvias, not the edible variety. Very vibrant pinks and reds, look glorious. They're perennials, so they'll come back every year, as will an agapanthus. And agapanthus, again, they're quite prolific self-seeders, although you're never quite sure what you're going to get when they come up like that. Don't be afraid to mix and match your plants. The only fruit which I wouldn't plant in with all my other plants, which I have actually done in the past, is a raspberry, because it's got such rampant suckers, it will take over your whole garden. So if you want a potager, which is a mixture of flowers and edibles, do not plant raspberry unless you put big borders around them into the soil to stop them spreading. But otherwise, really mix and match your herbs, your flowers, your edibles. It's all going to look a glorious mix. Talking about flowers, next week, something really exciting. We'll be talking to Rebel, who are wonderful florists in North East London in Hackney. We'll be doing a competition with them, so tune in to find out more.